Not sure if any of you guys watch the news. I don't watch the news too much, but one thing that I know on Thursday morning, the crypto market crashed. My bags went down. I'm sure your bags went down. Bitcoin got hit hard. Altcoins got hit harder. So we're here to talk about crypto, guys. We're here to talk about what impact that's got on Bitcoin. Because in the last video, I'd said this: we were in a bull pennant, a break to the upside of the bull pennant, a close to the upside of the bull pennant. That's Bitcoin in price discovery. That's Bitcoin in new all-time highs. A breakdown, guys, you got to be looking at new support levels. So we've come back down to this support level at 104,088. We've had a bounce. Currently, price is trading at 105,082. So, is this going to continue creating uncertainty within the world over the next couple of days into the weekend? Is it going to have a bigger impact on your altcoins? And what does this mean for Bitcoin? And what does it mean for dominance? And what would that do to your altcoin bags? Okay, so it is important that we do go through Bitcoin, we do go through the strength of the dollar, what impact that's got on dominance, whether we're going to get or we're likely to get further downside going into the next couple of days, and what impact that's going to have on the altcoin market. So just an example, guys, this is probably the biggest altcoin show that I've done so far. I've got every single one of your requests, and I promised each and every single one of you that put a request out on Discord that I'd cover it in this video. So we've got Onda, we've got Near, we've got Injector, we've got ICP, we've got Link, we've got HBAR, we've got Render, we've got Say, we've got AWR, we've got Tai, we've got Toshi, we've got Jasmine, we've got XCN, we've got Cpool, Tron, Gala, Uni, Desync, Algo, Engine, Moodeng. Took me long enough to say it, guys. Imagine what it's going to be like to chart it. So I promised you the biggest altcoin marathon. We are going to start with Bitcoin. This is the 4-hour chart. And when we just zoom out into the daily, we can see that the impact that news had, guys, impact that news had didn't create too much panic within the crypto market. We had uncertainty. We had a pullback. We had a pullback to support. We held support, guys. Altcoins did get hit hard, but Bitcoin's the biggest dominance leader. Bitcoin needs to lead the way. The next thing that we're looking at, guys, is Ethereum. We will talk about Ethereum at some point. But what's happened to the markets is we've come back down into neutral. What's happened to the markets is we've cooled off. So we're waiting for a decision. And all that does, guys, all that does is it just creates huge uncertainty. So is it going to likely pull back even further? If it does pull back further, how far is it likely to pull back? We've got a next support base here, guys. And I said in the previous video that it was a high probability that we were going to come back down to test this 38.2% retracement from this previous swing here. So the 38.2% retracement is 97,775. And if we do get in the world, guys, when the world's bad, you see high risk speculative assets, they get hit harder. If it does get bad, expect to come back down to this 38.2. So if Bitcoin comes back to the 38.2 and all the way back down here underneath 100,000 before it starts getting a bounce and puts in new highs, that means that the altcoins are likely to bleed harder. What impact would that have on dominance? Dominance would start spiking harder. So the aim of the game, guys, on this dominance is we need to continue and we need to maintain this structure here. That structure here is a lower high. There's the previous high. That was the all-time local high of this cycle. That was sitting at 65.49%. We're currently trading at 64.66% as far as the dominance is concerned. We had a big 3-bar reversal here, down, indecision, big move to the upside. So yesterday and the day before, when that created uncertainty, Bitcoin dropped, altcoins dropped harder. Because of that, dominance spiked up. That's uncertainty, guys. So the next thing that we look at is ETH. Now, ETH needs to play ball with us in the next couple of days for us to understand exactly what kind of direction that the altcoins are going to get. So Ethereum, we've seen it needs to hold the 200 daily moving average. Last couple of days, uncertainty. We've dropped the 200 daily moving average. The aim of the game in the short term, guys, and this is a big one, is for ETH to take out $2,639. This is really important, guys, that we do take out that, because that's showing and that's signaling that this bull flag's intact. ETH can hold the 200, then ETH can start the ETH rally. When ETH starts the ETH rally, look what pattern we're in here. This is Ethereum against Bitcoin. When ETH starts the ETH rally, it starts outperforming Bitcoin. We could take this 200. We could take this 200 and that'll flip bullish. We're nearly there, guys. We're nearly there. We've got uncertainty at the moment, but we are nearly there. And then ETH can start outperforming Bitcoin. And what happens when ETH outperforms Bitcoin? We get this. We get the big Ethereum season. We get the big alt season. So that was going into 2021, guys. And then Bitcoin just completely dominated the whole of the market. Right. Okay. So we're waiting for the reversal. Total 3. What about total 3, guys? Now, anybody that's new to the channel understands that this is my metric for alt season. Lots of people have got different indicators, different metrics that they use for alt season. I want a break and I want a close of the previous all-time high of total 3. Why do I want that, guys? Why is that important to me that we get this? get a break and a close of the previous all-time high. So think about the development that's happened on crypto. Think about how crypto has been developed over the past few years, guys. It's expanding. More people are using it. Transactional value is increasing. These chains are getting real world adoption at the moment. So total 3, the crypto market cap, excluding Bitcoin, excluding Ethereum. Take those two out the mix, and then you've got the rest of the altcoins. Now, within those altcoins, guys, you've got your XRPs, you've got your Solanas, you've got your AVAXs, you've got your Dojas, you've got your Cardanos. You've got these big chains that have got big development that's happening on them and lots of world adoption. So my thesis, there was 2021. This is 2025, 2024. Why haven't we broken the all-time high of 2021? Because transactional values are increasing on the chain. There's more adoption. More people are using it. Guys, these things are undervalued as far as I'm concerned. You can't tell me that we can't break the all-time high. Take out Ethereum, take out Bitcoin. We can't take out the all-time high when you've got your Doges, your Solanas, your Cardanos. You've got all of these big players. They can't take out the all-time high of the previous one collectively. When you add up all the altcoins combined, then there's an issue, guys. So altcoins late, Altseason's late for me, guys, but it's definitely not cancelled. So USDT dominance. Now, this has been a pain in the neck, actually, because it hasn't been following the Dixie. The Dixie is the strength of the dollar against a bag of fiat currencies. You can see how weak the Dixie is. It's just putting a new low, and now it's rejecting at that new low. So that's strong. Dollar is getting weaker. Dollar's getting weaker. When you look at the USDT dominance, this is the dollar within crypto. So this is people holding USDT, and what more people that hold USDT, the more the market cap is, and that's what this measures, 4.82%. So we look at that. Then you look at the Dixie, you can see Dixie's pushing down further. USDT dominance is really trying to regain this level at 4.87, 4.86%, which coincidentally is the 38.2% retracement from this move. So it's getting rejected. That's where we want it to be rejected, and we want this big move to the downside. That big move to the downside, guys, is going to be an alt rally. Why? Think about it. That's USDT. People are holding that. When you get a move to the downside, that means the market cap of crypto is going up in comparison to USDT. That means people are spending their USDT. So what happened as far as the macro is concerned, guys? We had a bit of a spike. We had a bit of a scare. This is what happened. VIX went up. This is what happened when we had the real uncertainty. The VIX really went up, and this is the volatility index of the S&P. The higher it goes, the worse it is for the S&P. And you can look, S&P 500. This is where the VIX, the volatility index spiked up. That's what happened. So we had a little spike, a little scare. Is it finished? We don't know, guys. But how far is the S&P from where price action is now to all-time highs? 2.86% away. So this massive drop that we had, the capitulation that we had, we've pretty much nearly recovered in the stock market. When the S&P starts putting in new all-time highs, guys, that means that the markets will look better, sentiment will get better, on-risk assets will start to rally, and we can have more confidence in the market. And the next thing, before we get into your altcoins, is going to be the Russell 2000. So the Russell 2000, if you think about the Russell 2000, guys, is high cap altcoins. This is high cap stocks, or sorry, low cap stocks. So these are the high risk ones, is what I'm trying to say. You can see when you look at this compared to the S&P, because these are higher risk, it hasn't recovered as much. If it hasn't recovered as much, that means it's got more a rally. Got a rejection here, the 200 moving average, and you've got 618 here. So you've got a big resistance point here, and that's at 2,180. So once we get a break above 2,180, that's showing speculative on-risk assets outside of crypto within the stock market are going to start to rally. So that is the macro, guys. This is what we need to happen over the next few days. We do need to monitor it. Is Bitcoin going to pull back? If it pulls back, we've got the next support level. If it pulls back to the next support level, what impact will that have on your altcoins? So we're jumping into your altcoins now and we'll take a look. Right, deep breath. Got lots to cover. Chart on all of these altcoins, and I'm going to go through them step by step and tell you exactly what I'm thinking. But one thing that we can see from the last altcoin marathon, guys, is the altcoins are dropping some major support zones. So if you're dropping a major support zone, what does that mean? Expect further levels to the downside. How can we tell, guys? We can add in our support, we can add in our resistance, and we can play it, guys. We can play the market by understanding risk management tools to help you along the way. One risk management tool, the one thing, laddering your position in, whether you're trading, whether you're investing, DCAing is one of the most powerful tools. So think about this scenario, guys. Imagine you're buying Ondo. Imagine you're buying Ondo here at $1.04. So there's your entry, $1.04. You've also got it up here, $1.78. Price drops, price drops, price drops. You manage to get something here. Price drops, price drops, price drops. All the way down here, guys. You've split your position, 4 positions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you'd have bought here, you'd be in a loss. If you'd have bought here, you'd be in a huge loss. If you'd have bought here, you'd be in a huge loss. However, what you've managed to do is scale, 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 and bring your average around about the middle. So that's the worst case scenario is you scale in your position a couple of times, then it pulls back. If it pulls back, what do you do with the rest of the allocation? We use $25, $25, $25 and $25 as an example. Now, what happens if you get a big position here and then you get a big position here and then, guys, you're averaging your position up, what happens then? If price just goes to the moon, if price goes to the moon, what happens with the last $50 allocation? You find something else that hasn't broke out, that's waiting to break out, and you capitalize on that other thing. It doesn't mean you have to put all of your position in, guys. That's a misconcept that people think. I've got $100 to put on this trade. I need to stick $100 on this trade. Guys, you don't need to stick $100 on the trade. If you get a killer entry with $50, you let the $50 ride and you use the $50 elsewhere. Risk management is a powerful tool, guys, and it helps you prepare for the worst. So Ondo, we're waiting for a break on Ondo. We've got a key level of support that we're just breaking. Ideally, if we can take back 81 cents on Ondo, that's going to look strong going into tomorrow and the rest of the weekend. But you can just stick a trend line on there, guys, and wait for the break, because the break tells you one thing. The break tells you bears have got momentum here. Break, bulls have got momentum. If the bulls have got momentum, it's a high probability that's a low. If it isn't a low, guys, and we reverse, because it's a probabilities game, if it reverses, you come back down, you're out with the limited amount of capital at risk. Then if you're in, guys, and you do put highs in, trail your stop loss, in profit. When the trend reverses, you go in profit. So these are just little tools that we can teach you along the way, guys. So that's Ondo anyway. We're waiting for Ondo, see if it's going to hold that support level, wait for the break on Ondo, and then that's going to give clear direction that the bulls have got momentum. So near again, dropped into the key support level. Simple trend line, diagonal trend line. Where's the next resistance point going to be when we got a break? It's going to be $3.74. That's going to be the 200 daily moving average. And that's also, guys, clues look left. That's also going to coincide with this barrier here. You can see once we dropped this level, we couldn't get back above it. So you've got your 200 climbing down. You've got this level here, which is sat at $3.64. That's going to be my next resistance point once we get a break. So if you get a break, pull back, hold this level of support, then have enough momentum to be able to push through the 200 daily moving average. How do you know when you've got momentum? Look at your indicators. You look at your stochastic. Is it overbought? Is it oversold? Remember, under 30 is oversold. Over 70 is overbought. So you're waiting. Bam, hit the 200, hit this resistance point, stochastic's going to go overbought, and then at this point when you're cooling off and the stochastic comes back down, as long as you maintain a higher low at this point, then there's a high probability that there's going to be a continuation to the upside and the bulls are going to really take control. So that's one way that you can look at it, guys. Use your indicators. The other way is divergences. I'll see if we can see some divergences on any of these charts. So that's what I'm looking for near, guys, in the short term. Injector or injective. We talked about this in the last video, guys. We talked about the pothole effect. And this is something where it held a base for such a long period of time, all the way till April 2024. Over a year, guys, support. And I call it the pothole effect because it catches people out and you get this effect where it wipes people out, because what's happening here? You've got this support base. That's where people have got their buy orders. Buy. When you drop below there, that creates panic. That is, guys, stop losses. So once people's stop losses are triggered, bam, you get this move to the downside. It completely washes the market out. Then you get a reversal continuation. So that's what I'm expecting to happen on Injector, guys. And you can see we've already started recovering since the last video. So easy. What we're waiting for, we're waiting to break the 200 and we're waiting to break trend. So we just stick a simple trend line on there. We've only got 2 touches. Ideally, you want 3 touches. So once you break that, bam, bulls have got momentum. We know the aim of the game in the short term is to take out $15.74, which is the 200 daily moving average, and then take out this key level here that's been resistance at $16.53. And once we do break that, resistance levels are getting less and less and less. So that's near. ICP next. So ICP, It's trading in this range. The range is sitting between $6.37, bottom of the range, $4.22. And you can see we've been making this staircase movement. And I said this on the previous ICP video that this looks like a similar move. Looks like a similar move when we zoom out to this move here. You can see where we're sweeping down, sweeping down, and we're waiting for this. We're waiting to break the 200. We're waiting to come back up and test this trend line. So it is showing similarities to this move here, guys. You've got the big downside move. You've got your W, you've got your big downside move, you've got your W, you've got your staircase up, and I'm waiting for a break on that one. So the resistance level sat at $6.37 on ICP, and then you've got your 200 daily moving average at $7.46. So from where price action is now, there is quite a bit of an increase there, 32.3% just to the 200 moving average on ICP. So links next. We've got a trend line on link, waiting for a break of trend. You can see these things are below the 200, guys. This is the thing that's concerning us. When we really start getting alt season, we're going to start breaking these 200s, and then we're going to start making bigger swings. These swings at the moment, guys, you measure these swings. You've got a move here. What's that? 29%. That move there, 50%. That move there, 75%. When you look at that, guys, in comparison, and this wasn't alt season. This is just back in December 2024 when we had the alt relief rally. You look at there, 205%. So you'll start making bigger swings once you start regaining these 200 moving averages. And once we start getting confidence in the market, when things start cooling off. And ideally, in an ideal world, guys, too late, Powell is going to reduce interest rates, and he's going to reduce them by 1 basis cut, like Mr. Trump said. That's in an ideal scenario, guys. And if he did that, America would be able to refinance their debt on favorable terms, and then they would be able to push money into the economy. They push money into the economy. What does that do, guys? It allows people to put their capital into on-risk speculative assets. Why? Because they've got money, guys. A lot of the time, people haven't got money. A lot of the times, interest rates high. A lot of the times, they're sucking money out of the economy and stealing from us. But guys, when they start printing money, it's bad because it's devaluing our currency, but it is throwing money into on-risk speculative assets that are going to give bigger gains. It's going to be short, it's going to be hard, it's going to be fast, guys, but you do get bigger gains with these high-risk speculative assets. So just an example, if you think of a 4-year bull run and you think of 9 months to the downside to 12 months to the downside, you've got 9 to 12 months to the upside. As far as Bitcoin's concerned, this year's been completely different, guys. It's just rallied on the back of the ETFs. But usually you get that, and then you get between 2.5 years of choppiness and sideways, guys. That's where people are building positions. It takes 2.5, 3 years for people to build a position, and then it takes a few months for them to take that position out. So it is build, 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 build. If you had an alt rally, guys, that lasted for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it wouldn't be sustainable because everything would be over leveraged. There wouldn't be enough capital in the market, and everyone would be winning. And the game is that for every winner, there's got to be a loser, guys. So make sure that you do educate yourself and understand what's fair value and how to read a price chart. And that's what I'm here for. So that's Chainlink, guys. Like I say, you've got the 200 there, 1784. H bar next. God, this is a bit of a mess, isn't it? We built in our support and we built in our resistance on H bar, and the area to beat in the short term was 19 cents, 0.19741. So that was the resistance barrier. And again, we're going to stick on a trend. And again, you can see one thing. We've got this guy here. That's looming at 22 cents, the 200 moving average. And we've hit a support base here at 15 cents. So 15 cents we need to hold, guys. If we don't hold 15 cents, you're coming back down here, all the way back down to the next support, 13.5 cents. So aim of the game, guys, wait for the break. You can see as far as the inversion fair value gap's concerned, you can see that this is a support level that we do need to hold. So that's the last ditch. If not, we're going further down to the downside. We're waiting for one thing. We're waiting for a breaker trend. That's going to indicate to us one thing. The bulls in this move here, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. For the first time, the bulls have broken trend. For the first time, the bulls have tested the bears, lower high, tested. And then once that comes back down, bam. That's why these head and shoulders are reversal patterns, guys. Think of the psychology behind this. You put in a lower low, you're in a downtrend. Come back down, you put in a lower high, you're in a downtrend still. That lower low maintains, and then you continue to the downside. What happens here, guys, is you're coming all the way back up. The bulls are fighting. This lower high gets tested. When that lower high gets tested, guys, you'll see sell orders there. Then once you put in a higher low, that's showing that it's not going down. It's not a continuation. You're putting in a higher low, and then you're coming back and you're testing this area for the third time. So you've got horizontal trends, you've got diagonal trends. These are diagonal trends. These are horizontal trends. A horizontal trend, guys, is a consistency in price. So you can see that that neckline is 40 cents. What about this? You've got a price here, 22 cents. You've got a price here, 20 cents. You've got a price here, 18 cents. So basically, you've got about 1, 2, 3, 4 different sell orders or buy orders at this level here of support and resistance. And you've got one here. So if you had $100 here, just an example, you split, you split, you split, you split. The bulls have got less barriers to break through because there's less capital, less sell orders at this level, less sell orders at this level, and less sell orders at this level. Whereas this is a consistency. All of the sell orders at this level, and it creates a sell wall. So that's H bar, guys. That's why inverse head and shoulders and head and shoulders patterns are high probability moves. So render next. We just need to stick a trend line on render. You can see these altcoins, guys. They're looking very similar at the moment. They're all playing out exactly the same. Holding support on render at $3.45. If we drop, we have actually got a bit of a drop here. So if we drop, we're going all the way back down, 26% to the downside, guys, to test this low that we sweeped, this low. And then if we come back down, expect to come back down to this level. But we don't care about that because you're waiting for one thing. You're waiting for the break of trend. You're waiting to get the advantage. You're waiting to understand when there's a high probability of a low being in. This could continue down. This could continue down. It could continue down. Wait for the break. Wait for the break. Always wait for the break, guys. So say next. And look, they're exactly the same, these altcoins. They're waiting for a decision. They're waiting for the markets to cool off. You can see we're in neutral at the moment. So we're in neutral. People aren't fearful. People aren't greedy. People are sat on the fence, guys, and people are waiting to find out what's happening in the world, what's happening in the macro before we can start getting rallies. So it is important, guys. Just don't look at crypto. Don't look at altcoins. Look at what's happening as far as the bigger picture is concerned. So that's what we've done earlier on with the analysis. We looked at where Bitcoin was, what impact it had on dominance, how Ethereum's reacting. Is the dollar getting weaker or stronger? How is it impacting the stock market? Is it getting scared as far as the VIX is concerned? All of these things, guys, give us a collective picture to find out exactly what part of the cycle that we're in now. And if you want to talk about cycles, guys, go back and watch my previous videos where I measure the cycles. We measure the previous 2 cycles of the bull market, previous 2 cycles of the bear market, and exactly the same time frames for both, guys. It's pretty uncanny. I'll leave the video at the end, actually, if anyone wants to watch that. So you're waiting for a break here. We've dropped a support level. We've got another support here on, say, at 17 cents. Just under 18 cents. So ideally, we just want this break here, guys. We want to take out this resistance barrier under the inversion fair value gap. Top of that is sat at 23 cents. Then you've got your 200 moving average all the way here, just under 30 cents, 0.2964. And you can see that's sloping down. That's sloping down. Aim of the game, obviously, in the short term is to take out that. So we've got AWR or will retire. Now, this is new to me, this one, guys. I keep getting lots of comments about this one. And this one, you've got to understand that it's not trading against its dollar pair, it's trading against Solana. So this is AWR, and this is trading against its Solana pair. So is it outperforming Solana is what we're looking at. Same as Bitcoin, Ethereum, guys. We look at the Bitcoin, Ethereum chart to find out who's outperforming Bitcoin or Ethereum. So this is AWR, this is Solana, and we're making a bit of a pennant here. So you know, guys, with a pennant, you know one thing, it gives you an advantage. You're going to do one thing. You're going to break to the upside, you're going to break to the downside, and that's going to allow for protections. You can see we're getting to the apex of this. So if you break to the upside, that's showing this is your protection. If you break to the downside, you know that this is going to be your rejection point. So flip it in reverse. Upside, guys, that is your protection. Downside, that is your resistance point. So we're waiting for directional bias on that, guys, and we're waiting for a breakout. And I'll tell you something, that could be, if that breaks to the upside, that could be a volatile break on AWR. Something that I haven't got, but something that I'm going to look at, actually. Then you've got TARS AI. So TARS AI is looking a little bit weaker because we've got this trend line here, guys. We've got the diagonal, and we've just dropped the diagonal. Stick it up a bit, actually. Stick it up a bit. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. You've come out, you've rejected this level, and then we're coming back down. So we've got a support on TARS AI at 0.06365, and then we've got another minor support at 0.7895. So one thing, guys, that's concerning me on this is that's a 50-period moving average. We talk about breaking, closing above the 200-period moving average. Dropping this 50 is bearish. So in the short term, we want to overcome the 50. We want to take out the 20. The 20 sat at 11 cents. The 50 is sat at 10 cents, just over 10 cents. So that's bearish at the moment. Wait for that move to play out. But the same thing that we can do with every single one that we've looked at is stick a trend line on there, understand that the bulls have got momentum, take back this level and get back in trend. And then we can start looking at the 200 moving average, which sat at 18 cents. So Toshi next. Toshi, we've got a strong support base here that we're looking like we're testing at the moment. So yeah, there's the strong support base. You can see that was support here, that rejected, resistance, resistance. You broke through it, held support on this candle. We've come back down once, we've come back down twice. You can see because this is a new chart, guys, and it's on the daily, 200 moving average is just starting to form now. So just starting to form now. It's not going to carry as much weight as what the others are. They've got previous data to go by. People look at the 200 for an area of support, an area of resistance. But when it's only just printed, because you haven't got enough candles, when it's just printed, it doesn't carry as much weight. However, you've got this support base here, 0. What we on 0.004612 on Toshi. But you can do exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. We're all in diagonals at the moment. Then Jasmy, aim of the game was to take out the bear. We used the bull and we used the bear in this example. Jasmy's actually looking pretty weak because we've come back down and we've tested the danger zone that we said. That was our last ditch hope. And we've come back down. We've tested the danger zone again. So we really need to hold this level. Jasmy really needs to hold this level. It's at 0.01289. So once you've got a break, guys, we've got a new resistance barrier. That was the previous resistance barrier up here. Now we've got a new resistance barrier, which is here. So 0.01571 in the short term, guys, before we can start making new highs. The 200 daily moving average on this, guys, is miles away, 0.02250. So once we do break these key levels, just an example from where price is now, that's a 72% move to the upside. However, once you've got a break, then it's not going to be as big of a move. However, you're going to have a higher probability, you're going to have more conviction that it's not going to move to the downside. You've got protections in place to protect yourself along the way, guys, and everything is rosy. You live to fight another day. So XCN, guys, this is my biggest one this year so far, and I only put a few dollars in here, and it's done, well, at one point it's done a 30x. I think it's down to about a 20x now. So you can see we had this big move to the downside, guys. I'd got XCN down here, Onyx coin down here. We've got this big move to the upside, big, huge pullback. That pullback was massive, by the way. Let's measure it. So yeah, I got like a 30x, and it went back down to about an 18x at some point. 84% to the downside at its low. So we're trading in a bit of a pattern here, and we're waiting for one thing. What is it that we're waiting for, guys? You tell me. Two things actually on this one. So you've got Onyx coin. First thing, as far as resistance, as far as support's concerned, we've got our 200 daily moving average. Now, what's happening, guys? We tried to close above it yesterday. We failed yesterday. We're trying to close above it today. We're failing today. In the short term, by candle close, we've got 15 hours and 19. If we regain the 200 moving average, it's not going to be bullish, guys, but it is going to be more bullish, and it's going to be a less probability of us losing this support zone. So if we take back the 200 by the end of the day, by the end of the weekend even, guys, that's going to give it chance to be able to push towards this trend line, break, retest, bam. That's what I'm waiting for. It's quite a difficult one to play this, guys, because look at the pullback. Look at the way it swings. Look at the way it pulls back. So 200, that's going to be last ditch support. We're losing that at the moment. I'm not interested until we're above the 200. Once we're above the 200, I don't mind putting a little position in here and then more of a position on the break. Because that's the additional confirmation, guys. You get a little bit here, then a bigger one on the break. So C pool next. I'm not actually sure what this is, so let me know in the comments what this is. But if you just zoom out, you can see we've got a big resistance barrier. A big resistance barrier. Now look at how price reacts to this level. All the way back here. Resistance, 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 support, resistance. Look at how price reacts to this level. This is going to be a key resistance point, and that is sat at 15 cents. So we need to break 15 cents in the short term. We need to take out this lower high at 0.01485. Need to do this in the short term, guys. Take back this level, come back down here, and we could test the 200. 200 sat all the way at 23 cents, just under 24 cents. So you got Tron next. So Tron's put in a new high. Tron's come back. It's tested this previous area, and this is a strong support zone, actually, guys. That's sat at 2,655. So you can see this accumulation of price action. What happens when you get a big build-up of price action? That creates a base. So what's happened, guys, is people have put buy orders here. People have put buy orders to be able to push out of this range. And we can see we pushed out of the range once, we pushed out the range once, we've come back into the range. This was on the back of the negative news, 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candles. Because of all the buy orders at this level, guys, There's people that didn't even get buy orders here. There's people that have still got their buy orders remaining. There's buy orders left, buy orders left, buy orders left. This build up of price action means something. Means something, guys. People are interested in this. When they fall back, we've got buy orders here, and people are starting to build on Tron. So Gala next. Build their positions on Tron, should I say, not build on Tron. I'm sure they are building on Tron, but that's what I meant. So waiting for a pullback on Gala, you can see we've dropped a key major resistance point, and we actually measured this in the previous video. This is an inverse head and shoulders, as you can see. What happens? Talked about it earlier on. There is the lower low, guys. What's this? That's the lower high. This is a lower low. That's a continuation to the downside. That's bearish. Then something happens. The neckline gets tested. Neckline gets tested. Then we don't put in a new lower low. In fact, we put in a lower high. A higher low. And then that gives us enough volatility to test the neckline for the third time, then push price action back up to the next resistance point. That's exactly what it did. But unfortunately, guys, this is bearish at the moment. So as far as price is concerned, we've got 0.1366 to fall back on. That's going to be a strong support. That's coming back down to test these previous lows. If we do come back there, that should act as support, guys, and then we're waiting for the break. You've got this resistance point to contend with as well, guys, which is going to be, as it's sloping, sitting between 0.01699 to 0.0165. So, yep, you're waiting for the break on that one as well. I sound like a broken record, but unfortunately, the break gives you that advantage. The break gives you momentum. So, build up a price action in this one again. Got this build up a price action that tells a story, that tells that there's buy orders. You've also actually broken out of this range, and we're holding this range as support. See, there's the top of the range, guys. That was resistance. You've got this big candle to the downside there, which is a rejection candle. Another rejection candle here. Once we broke out, expect this to hold as support. So that's holding as support right now, and the support zone sitting at 6.75. And then you've got your resistance barrier at $9.23. People keep asking me, guys, what's projections, bull market projections? Give me bull market projections, guys. It's all about time in the market. I can't pick tops. I can't pick bottoms, but I don't care, guys. If I buy something, I stick $1,000 into something, and that $1,000 goes into something that turns into $5,000, and then I take out the $5,000, and then next day that $5,000 would have went to $10,000. I don't care, guys. I've banked $5,000. You need to flip your mindset. We are not going to pick tops. We're not going to pick bottoms, and I'm not going to be giving you bull market projections, guys, while we're trading these bearish patterns, because it could wreck you. It could allow you to go and buy something thinking that it's going to go to that level, guys, thinking that it's going to go to that level. And we don't know what's going to happen because the market's a game of probabilities. So if you think it's going to go to that level and your conviction is that you're going to buy this, it's going to go to that level, and it doesn't go to that level, that thing that you've just bought, guys, will go to zero. It will absolutely wreck you. So I'm not giving you big projections yet, guys. Once we start taking out the 200, by all means, I'll be giving you bigger swings. I'll be giving you bigger projections, and I'll be showing you exactly what I'm doing, how I'm scaling out of the market. We're not there yet. So unfortunately, we've got resistance barriers we need to overcome. And this is another one as well, guys. Destra, I've never even heard of this one. So we're dropping a key major resistance, 0.01280. You've got the barrier sat here at 20 cents. You've got another barrier sat here at 23 cents. And then you've got a big, big barrier to overcome here, guys. This means a lot. When you've got a bullish move to the upside, you're coming down and you're holding this area as support. You're holding this area as support. When this comes back down, this is going to be a huge, huge resistance point. That's sat at 28 cents to 30 cents. So when price breaks through, when price comes back and hits the 200 moving average, when we break the 200 moving average, guarantee you guys that is going to be a big resistance point. So I'll go next. We're just going to stick a trend line on there. This is really simple. When it's simple, guys, make it simple. We're sticking a trend line on there. You're waiting for a break. You've got resistance now sat at 20 cents. That was previous support here. Now that's resistance. Once we overcome that, we know that we've taken out that previous lower high, first thing. Then the bulls have got momentum because we've had a break of trend. Second thing, that is a high probability that that's the low. Third thing. So you build in confluence, guys. You build in weight and you build in probabilities to give you an advantage and help you understand directional bias. So engine next. Engine, waiting for a break on engine. Where's the 200 on this thing? It must be miles away. Oh, it's up here. See where the 200 coincides with this resistance point here, guys? That strong resistance point. By the time the 200 slopes down, because it's sloping down at the moment, that's going to come all the way down to 13 cents, 13.5 cents. So we need a volatile break to take out these two moving averages here, the 50, the 20, and also for the bulls to regain momentum. We've got any kind of divergence. just have a look at the RSI. It's one thing I haven't been looking at in these videos, divergences. So price action, recent price action, guys. And this is the last few weeks, the last few days. You've put in a higher high, you've put in a higher high. Now, we look at the chart. What's happening, guys? Just zoom in on the chart, putting in lower low, and you're putting in a lower low. So that is a divergence, and that's showing that this divergence needs to play out. When this divergence plays out, guys, it's showing, well, let me explain what a divergence is first. You've got the RSI. This is the RSI. RSI measures buy-in and sell-in pressure. So you look at the RSI in conjunction with the chart, and when there's something that's different from the RSI and the chart, it's telling a story. So it's telling us a story here that people are buying, higher lows, higher lows. The chart is telling us a different story. People are not buying. You're putting in lower lows, lower lows. The bears have got momentum on the chart. The bulls are showing a signal on the RSI. So we're waiting for this RSI divergence to play out. And when that plays out, expect to take out that previous lower high at 0.0820. So divergences are a strong thing, guys. Last one, Moodeng. God, look at this thing. So Moodeng, what are we doing? You tell me, shout to the screen, easy. We are just sticking on a trend line. We're waiting for momentum. But you tell me one thing when you look at this Moodeng chart, guys. That's had a big volatile swing to the upside. That move there, 797%. So that pullback must have been quite big. Pullback to where price is now, 55%. Now, look at the chart. One thing. Where's your support zone? I want you to tell me. Where's your support zone? 200 moving average. What are we holding? 200 moving average. What happens if you drop the 200 moving average, guys? This is a gap. This is a gap. This is what we talked about, a build up of price action here. That creates buy orders, that creates structure, that creates sell orders. Guys, when you get a volatile swing to the upside like this, you've got no build up of price action here, no build up of price action here, no build up of price action here. When you get a drop with something that's moved up that hard and you fall through support, expect that thing to come straight down. So we're holding this 200. This is a dangerous game, this Moodeng. We need to hold the 200. We need to move up towards the trend, start signaling a shift in momentum, break through, let the bulls have momentum, take out 0.020, 20 cents, take out 20 cents, and then we start pushing up for new highs then. Right, that is about it, guys. Like I say, it was a marathon. That's the biggest one that I've done. And on the Discord group, we've got the video chart requests now. So every single person has had their say on this. That's why I've done the Altcoin Marathon today, guys. So jump in the Discord group. It is completely free. Have your say for next week. And I'm quite happy to do these long videos. As long as it's what you want and as long as you learn something from these long videos, I'll keep doing them. So let me know in the comments if you want more of this. And I'll see you guys in the next one.